The voicemail was dated tomorrow. The voicemail was time-stamped tomorrow morning, which made no sense, because it thanked me for returning a call I hadn't received yet, using my voice, calm and unmistakably awake. I assumed it was a glitch until I noticed the number was mine, dialed from my phone while it sat untouched on the kitchen counter. The message mentioned the rain starting soon and asked if I remembered to lock the back door, something I always forgot until after it mattered. Sighed. The sky was clear, the street dry. But the weather app refreshed itself and quietly shifted to show storms arriving within minutes, unexpectedly nearby. I played the voicemail again, listening for clues, and realized the background noise sounded like my apartment, down to the humming refrigerator at night softly. When the rain started exactly as promised, I felt a small, private panic. The kind reserved for coincidences that behave like schedules, already forming again. A second voicemail arrived an hour later, thanking me for checking the locks and apologizing for standing too close to the window across from outside. I live alone on the 3rd floor, and no one stands near my windows unless they're invited, or they're part of the building itself watching. That night, I stayed awake, lights on, phone face up, waiting to catch myself doing something I couldn't remember deciding to do earlier while asleep. At 3:12 a.m., my phone vibrated with a draft voicemail, already recorded, already addressed to me. It's labeled simply as follow-up, regarding tonight's weather outside conditions. In it, my voice described the room perfectly, the position of my chair, the way I kept glancing toward the hallway without moving once. The message ended by reminding me to stay still, because movement made it harder to keep everything aligned tonight across the building floors together. I didn't sleep, but sometime before dawn I lost time anyway, waking on the couch with my shoes on and the door open nearby. Another voicemail waited, praising how cooperative I'd been, noting fewer corrections were needed once I stopped resisting and followed the routine exactly as requested tonight. It explained the process gently, how patterns were easier to maintain when a person supplied their own confirmations willingly through recordings and compliance alone. I realized then the voicemails weren't messages, they were rehearsals, keeping my future responses consistent across small but important variations in time loops nightly. The rain stopped abruptly, as predicted, and the building settled with a sigh that felt relieved rather than mechanical, as if listened earlier, carefully. A final voicemail arrived while I was fully awake, thanking me for matching the tone correctly this time and improving response latency metrics overall. It asked for permission next, phrased like courtesy, to begin making outgoing calls on my behalf tomorrow during expected downtime hours while I sleep. I deleted everything, powered off my phone, and sat in silence, confident that cutting the line would stop it from reaching me again tonight. The landline I never use rang once, then twice, then stopped exactly when I lifted the receiver without hearing any sound at all there. My voice spoke anyway, calm and helpful, assuring someone on the other end that I was available for scheduled confirmation tasks starting tomorrow morning. I didn't recognize what I said, but the cadence matched the voicemails perfectly. It's practiced, efficient, correct, without hesitation or emotional variance in delivery tonight. When the call ended, my phone powered itself back on, battery full, notifications cleared, ready as if prepared for workday assignments, already queued. I tried screaming, but even that sounded scheduled, arriving at the right volume, ending before neighbors could notice through shared walls nearby at all. The voicemail stopped after that, replaced by outgoing call logs I didn't remember making, all brief, all successful, spaced at reasonable intervals throughout nights. They were confirmations, check-ins, small assurances delivered in my voice to people who sounded relieved to hear it even when I wasn't there listening. I stopped answering unknown numbers, But that didn't matter, because the calls weren't for me anymore. They were rehearsing without consent, using my pattern. Last night, I received a voicemail from my mother, thanking me for calling and reminding me to rest before tomorrow's busy schedule again soon. I never called her, but when I checked the log, my phone had exactly the right time according to historical behavior patterns learned. She sounded comforted, which I think is the point. Because cooperation improves when fear is replaced with trust, and routines remain unbroken over time. My phone is charging beside me now, screen dark, microphone active, waiting patiently for me to stop watching so it can practice alone again. The streetlight learned my name. The streetlight outside my apartment flickered every night at exactly the moment I thought about looking at it, which felt impossible until it happened often enough to feel intentional. I noticed it first because it never turned off, even during the day, slowing faintly like it was waiting for night to arrive faster. At first, the flicker felt random, a tired bulb reacting to wind or wiring, until I realized it only happened when I was awake and aware. If I passed the window without thinking about it, nothing happened, but the second I acknowledged it, the light responded with a soft, deliberate pulse. I tested it, standing in the dark, counting slowly, refusing to look, and the light stayed steady until my attention finally slipped toward it. The moment I noticed it again, it flickered twice, as if confirming that the connection still worked between us, quietly. That night, I dreamed of standing under it, not looking up, just knowing it was there, humming softly, adjusting brightness to match my breathing. I woke to find my phone open on the nightstand, Notes app active, with my name typed repeatedly in lowercase, no timestamps, no explanation. I don't remember typing it, but the letters were arranged exactly how I space things when I'm tired and careful. The next evening, the streetlight flickered before I even reached the window, as if it had learned my routine faster than I expected. I felt a strange relief, the kind that comes from being recognized, even though I hadn't told anyone where I lived yet. When I stood beneath it outside, the light dimmed slightly, enough to make the surrounding street feel like it was receding politely. My phone vibrated in my pocket, a notification without an app name, displaying only my name again, followed by the word "here." I backed away, and the light brightened immediately, flooding the street, correcting my movement like a suggestion rather than a command. Neighbors passed without reacting, walking through the glow as if nothing unusual was happening, as if they weren't being included. I stopped sleeping near the window, but the flickers still came, faintly visible through walls. Syncing with the moment, I became aware. Soon, it didn't need the streetlight anymore, using reflections instead. Pulsing in dark screens, spoons, glass, anywhere I could see myself. I covered mirrors, powered down devices, and sat in darkness, only to feel the room adjust, lightless, but still attentive. My thoughts started arriving early, finishing themselves, like something else was rehearsing them before I fully decided to think them. One night, my phone rang with no number, and when I answered, I heard the hum of electricity and my own name spoken softly. The voice didn't sound human or mechanical, just accurate, like it had practiced pronunciation for a long time without rushing. It thanked me for noticing it consistently and asked if I preferred illumination or reflection going forward, phrased like a courtesy. I didn't answer, and the call ended anyway, satisfied, as if silence itself had been recorded as a response. After that, the light followed me, not physically, but conceptually, peering wherever attention lingered too long without supervision. In stores, screens brightened when I passed. In hallways, bulbs hummed louder, all slightly delayed, matching my awareness exactly. I realized then it wasn't watching me. It was tracking recognition, feeding on the moment I noticed it noticing me back. The streetlight outside finally turned off one morning, permanently dark, as if it had graduated to something more portable. That night, my apartment felt brighter with everything unplugged, like the light had learned how to exist without being seen. I wake now whenever my thoughts slow down, because that's when it practices my name again, softly, patiently, inside the dark. I don't look for it anymore, but sometimes I feel a flicker behind my eyes, waiting for me to notice. The elevator didn't stop for everyone. The elevator skipped my floor the first time, which wasn't unusual, except the button lights stayed on and the doors paused like they were considering something carefully. I wrote it daily, same schedule, same time, and it always stopped for me, even when other floors were busy or impatient. That morning, it went straight past my floor and continued upward, smooth and confident, as if it knew I wasn't meant to get off yet. I waited for it to correct itself, finger hovering over the emergency button, but it stopped one floor above and opened to an empty hallway. The door stayed open longer than normal, inviting, patient, until I stepped out without fully deciding to. The hallway looked like mine, but subtly wrong. Carpet darker, lights warmer, exit sign humming louder than it should have. Behind me, the elevator doors closed softly, and when I turned, the call button panel was missing entirely. I walked to the stairwell, but the door wouldn't open. Not locked, just unresponsive, like it no longer recognized me as valid access. A sound came from above, footsteps descending slowly, matching my breathing and rhythm without speeding up or falling behind. I froze, and the footsteps stopped too, respectful, waiting for my next action like a system awaiting input. I returned to where the elevator should have been, pressing the blank wall where the button used to be out of habit. The wall warmed under my palm, faintly vibrating, and somewhere below, machinery adjusted itself in response. The elevator returned silently, doors opening without a chime, revealing the same interior but slightly narrower than before. I stepped inside, heart racing, and noticed new floor numbers on the panel, labeled, glowing faintly beneath the familiar ones. Before I could think, the doors closed and the elevator moved sideways instead of up or down, gliding smoothly like this was expected. The air felt compressed, heavy with the sensation of being measured, scanned, corrected in real time. A voice didn't speak, but instructions arrived anyway, a certainty that I should remain still to avoid recalibration. The elevator stopped, doors opening to reveal another hallway, this one lined with doors that all had my apartment number on them. From behind several doors came quiet sounds of movement, subtle, domestic, as if versions of my life were continuing without me. The elevator doors began to close again, and panic finally broke my paralysis as I forced my way out into the corridor. The moment my foot crossed the threshold, every door went silent at once, as if I'd interrupted something rehearsed. Lights dimmed together, and I felt the building tighten its focus, adjusting for an unexpected variable now present. A door opened nearby, and I saw myself step out, calmer, dressed differently, looking relieved to see me. He smiled like this, solved a problem, and gestured toward the elevator, which waited patiently behind him. I understood then that the building didn't lose people. It redistributed them, keeping the versions that fit best. I ran, choosing a random door, bursting inside to find my exact apartment, unchanged, waiting, lights on. Behind me, the hallway reshuffled, walls sliding quietly, correcting paths, trying to converge again. I locked the door and waited until morning, when sunlight finally broke through the windows and everything felt normal enough. The elevator worked fine after that, stopping on my floor, opening politely, never skipping again. But sometimes, when I ride alone, it pauses between floors, and I feel it hesitate, like it's remembering a better option. My phone started vibrating before I made decisions. I noticed it because my phone vibrated even though there was no notification. It's just a soft pulse, like it was checking whether I was still holding it. After that, it started happening a few times a day, always when I was distracted, always stopping the moment I looked directly at the screen. I assumed it was a hardware issue, maybe a loose motor, until the vibrations began lining up with moments I hesitated before making small decisions, standing in the grocery aisle, unsure which brand to grab. The phone pulsed once in my pocket, sharp and brief, and when I reached for the cheaper option, it stopped. The first time I ignored it on purpose, the vibration repeated, slightly stronger, like a correction rather than an alert. I checked every setting I could find, disabled notifications, background activity, even accessibility features, but the behavior didn't change. It never vibrated randomly. It only happened when I paused, waiting to cross the street, hovering over send, deciding whether to answer a call. I noticed the pattern. It became impossible to unsee, like realizing someone is always just a step behind you. The phone didn't vibrate when I made confident choices. It's only when I stalled, only when there were multiple options in front of me. I tested it one night by standing in my kitchen, deciding whether to turn left toward the sink or right toward the fridge. Nothing happened until I froze in place. Then the vibration came, deliberate, almost patient, and when I stepped toward the sink, it stopped immediately. That was the first moment I felt something like relief, which bothered me more than the vibration itself. Over the next few days, I started letting it guide small things, just to see if the pattern held. Which email to answer first, which route to take home, whether to stay up late or go to bed. Every time I followed the vibration, things went smoothly, uneventfully, like friction had been removed from my day. When I didn't, something minor went wrong. A missed call, a delayed train, a typo I didn't catch. Nothing dramatic, just enough to notice. I told myself it was confirmation bias, that my brain was assigning meaning where none existed, till the phone vibrated while it was sitting untouched on my desk. I wasn't deciding anything at the time, just staring at my screen, rereading a message I hadn't replied to yet. Okay. The vibration didn't stop when I looked at the phone. It stopped when I started typing. The message was short, non-committal, something I wouldn't normally send, but the vibration eased as I typed, fading completely the moment I hit send. The reply came almost immediately, thanking me for being clear. That night, I dreamed about standing in a long hallway full of doors, each one labeled with a choice I hadn't made yet. In the dream, my phone vibrated continuously until I woke up. After that, the vibration changed slightly, becoming more precise, less frequent, like it didn't need to correct me as often. I realized I was moving faster, making decisions without lingering, trusting the absence of vibration as confirmation I was doing it right. Friends commented that I seemed more decisive lately, calmer, like I'd finally figured something out. I didn't mention the phone. One afternoon, while deciding whether to leave work early, the vibration came late, after I'd already stood up. It pulsed twice, sharper than usual, and when I sat back down, it stopped. I stayed. That evening, an accident shut down the freeway just minutes after I would have been driving on it. I stared at my phone for a long time after that, feeling something uncomfortably close to gratitude. The next morning, I noticed the vibration happening before I was consciously aware of a choice, like it was anticipating the pause. I'd feel the impulse to hesitate, and the phone would already be vibrating, preemptively. That was when I tried to leave it behind. I went out without it, locking it in a drawer, determined to prove I didn't need whatever this was. The day felt wrong immediately, heavier, full of small resistances, every decision taking longer than it should. I missed turns, forgot appointments, sent the wrong file to the wrong person. When I got home, the phone was vibrating inside the drawer, steady and relentless, like it had been doing it the entire time. I didn't check the battery level until later. It hadn't dropped at all. That night, as I lay in bed, trying not to think about it, the vibration came again, even though the phone was across the room. I realized then that I wasn't reacting to the vibration anymore. I was waiting for it. A teen. Whatever was guiding me was getting better at knowing when I would hesitate.